Welcome. We are talking about purpose. I got my hat on. We are live. We're live in Chicago. We're live in LA. We're live in Norway. We're physically in Norway, physically in Chicago. I got my dragon shirt on. We are talking about purpose. We are bringing purpose into life. We have been given purpose wherever we are. Have this, have your house, have your education, have your husband or wife, get your kids, all these things. And purpose here is to kind of the purpose of maturity, of bringing, growing internally into connecting into a deeper place. To kind of realize that you can grow and mature. We don't always necessarily talk too much about maturing because it seems that's just expected of parents to be mature, or when you get a job and you become a boss, it's supposed to be mature, or supposed to be mature as a grandparent or as a retired person. So we just have different expectations of we are supposed to be mature when we're an adult. So we have these ideas about being mature, but we also see that most people are not necessarily that mature. We get stuck in ideas, fantasies of life. And then you can see you have stories about people getting lost at different places. So that is why purpose is needed. Purpose to see what is the potential. It's kind of like that might be why a philosophy is needed. And the philosopher or the teacher of where are we going and what is the potential. We have kind of been given a world, the Enlightenment, the age of Enlightenment, which has already kind of come to pass. We've already reached that. We're all living in a world of enlightenment. And yet, it's easy for teachers or professional psychologists or doctors and different manners to kind of start to prescribing how you need to. These people still like to control you. So we don't really feel like necessarily life is so mature. People are given maturity more than others. We want to control, make sure that you don't break rules, make sure that you live properly. We want to make sure that you live maturely, pay your taxes, take your vaccines, we want to make sure. So then if you look at why are we so in lack of faith that humanity will live maturely, wisely, honorably, why are we lacking this faith? Well, we see that it's not happening, of course. So then we're like, well, it's like kindergarten. Why are people fighting? We need to control them. We need to separate them. We need to create different. And then in psychology or medicine, psychiatry, a lot of times the sense of control, or the sense of trying to understand the psyche and understand illness and sickness, we do the double blind, research studies, and when we do that, we try to do all this statistical analysis of how we see 60% people smoking, 60% of this, okay, but then we see there's other potentials for these analysis. Okay, 60% of drinkers. Well, so suddenly you see there's all these variables. And then you are trying to kind of, through all these, stress, you see 80, 70% there. And so none of these are giving 100%, this is wrong or right. But we're trying to kind of capture, why are people getting sick from this? Or why are people getting depressed? Or why are people, what is happening? We're trying to kind of circumcise it and find a connection, and then we try to and then we blow it up in the media. This is the right, but at the same time, if you read it, it's never just right. It's never right or wrong. It's just like, we found 60 or 65% respond like this, and they never totally know why then the 30 or 35% don't respond. So you don't really know why would I partake in this kind of philosophy if it's not like, am I included in this? Well, the chances are higher. It's a 65% chance that this will work. Yeah, but that doesn't really mean anything specifically to you. So we see that the philosophy that we already have intertwined in us is that of medicine, is that of scientific analysis, which is not really based off of truth. It's based off of like diagnosis, which means that two people have no idea, but we kind of can see that there might be a correlation. That's the best we can do. And then when all this other stuff happens and people react differently or opposite, this is our philosophy. We're doing scientific approach to life. So it gives a feeling of superiority and be like, I can say that this works, and until it doesn't, then you don't really know why. So that is what kind of we have been put into this education. We learn a lot, but we don't necessarily learn truth always. We learn kind of perspectives. We hear about it, so we think it's like that, or we hear about Islam and we think it's like that, but then we haven't really learned what it is. We don't really learn the history because we don't want to offend the Muslims, so we get stuck in, and we don't want to offend people in America or in Norway. Like we learn history that is kind of partial. We learn religions that are partial. So even in the age of enlightenment, we kind of all are kind of fed partial stories, partial truths. So that kind of leaves us a little bit, when we kind of grow up and we feel like we are in the best world, we're in the best place, and we are so educated and we're taken care of, but still see the people ending up on welfare or depressed or sick or all this stuff. And you see that life isn't so taken care of. So that young people, maybe like when they're 18 or 20, they're like, what? I thought we knew all sickness. I thought because the doctors or the teachers, they talk, so this is the story and this is how it's done. But they forget to tell you that they don't really know. Only if you actually talk to a doctor or a teacher, they will be like, well, we haven't totally figured it out, but this is what we teach for now. So in the age of enlightenment, we kind of are a little bit lost in a non-enlightenment. So then we are just more like, well, be sure to don't fall into that, and be sure to don't do that. We're more kind of given, don't do this and don't do that and don't believe that, and you can be fooled and don't. Life is more about trying to scare you and not to kind of uplift you into, so scare you brings your energy down eventually. And that's when people be like, why am I feeling depressed? Or why am my energy depleted? Or why am I feeling dark? Or why am I feeling sad? And, if you're getting uplifted, that is something else. But people are almost scared because you can fall in love and you can do stupid stuff when you're happy. So society doesn't really want you too happy. So we are kind of in a society where, it's like the doctors, they know that, if they're going to tell you, you don't want to tell a person that they're going to die, because they actually might just lay down and do it. And it happens way faster, or it might, the psychology, the placebo effect. So people are afraid of we can't tell everybody the truth. What if they know? So then we kind of become in a little like a sheltered place where everybody's just comforted by like not knowing. So we're not really living in an age of enlightenment. We're living in an age of shelteredness, which seems dark, but it's not dark. That is the beginning of kind of seeing that we still, to kind of move into an awakening, to enlightenment, is to kind of become aware of that we need to dare to see, to also dare to like not believe everything, not even believe in our society always. We have to dare to look beyond and be like, well, where are people, where is that headed leading us, and where are this leading us? And that's where we have to look at purpose. Sometimes you hear these different techniques, and when I went to chiropractic, you saw different techniques, but people can sell it and be like, this is the best, but where is it leading? Where are you at? Where are the people that are led? So then that is where purpose, we have to dare to, and by seeing it, we have to hear what are they saying? What are they not saying? And it takes discernment. We have to listen. So that is part of the process of awakening up, is to start listening, because you kind of have to listen to where people are and what fits them, and then what is possible. So when I talk about purpose, it's because we have to kind of dare to listen. We have to dare to show up like these Wednesdays. We have to dare to continue and question and wonder, what is this? And what is he saying? And what is this? And what are the people kind of, supporting this? And the way I'm talking about the body, we're like that we have different elements of ourselves. Some people can be a very physical person, somebody an emotional person, somebody a very sexual person, somebody's a very soulful person, somebody's a very spiritual person, somebody's a very mental person, and the list goes on. So we have kind of different ways of engaging with reality. So some people do really well physically, and it's a little bit like playing golf. You have different fields. You play golf, and some people come in and they're really good. They just master golf right away. They hit it really good, and they can do really well. Like Tiger Woods, they just do really well. But then, is it mature? How are the other aspects? And then suddenly you realize they end up in all these kind of problems, like emotional maturity, mental maturity, sexual maturity, all these other aspects of yourself. Just like Mike Tyson, he can be very good at doing physical stuff, but then he bites somebody's ear off. So there's then you realize that, yeah, even if you're doing something, you still have to go through and meet your emotions, meet your mind. You might be good at playing on one field, but then if the wind is hard, you might not be good when you have to play in the sand, or different, and you might suddenly, something happens in your family's death, other things, and then suddenly you're not able to remain stable and grounded when other things happen. So that's why we know, like life, that there are things that can happen, that even people can be like, oh, they have an education, they're good at something, but then what happens? How can you handle depression? How can you handle sadness? How can you handle desire? How do you handle anger? Have you found the stable ground beyond all these things? And most people be like, no, we don't really believe that. We're not told that that's even possible. So why would we even believe it? That's when we go to the shrink, or that's why we get drugs, or that's why we get like antidepressants. So we're kind of built in a society where life is a little scary, and be thankful that you are not sick. Be thankful that you're not depressed. Be thankful that you're still married. Be thankful like this, and so we are kind of a little bit in a scary place. So that is where then we can kind of start to escape, and we kind of lock down. And you see old people sometimes are like sad and scared and pulled in, and they are, they don't have less friends, and they are kind of going through all this stuff. Well, when I kind of discovered this path, was that realized that there is a connection. There's a connection within you, within everyone. But to connect and to kind of honor that connection is a choice. So that's why we're talking about purpose. You have to choose it. There's that choice is unconscious in us, because we had it when we were little, and then we have been kind of dragged everywhere and nowhere. And then we can return and start finding that connection again and feeling. And that's where people, when we have these groups and talks, you might start feeling that there is something here, that there's a connection. I'm pointing towards a connection that you can come into, both physically, emotionally, sexually, mentally, soulfully, spiritually. So we can kind of move through all these gates and start opening up this body of wisdom, and start to kind of grow in this connection to ourselves, grow in this feeling of bliss and this love, this stability, this security, this fearlessness. Instead of being fearful for everything, we can find this fearlessness, this maturity. So when you suddenly see like somebody that is old, and they're like, wow, they're not afraid of the noise out on the street. They're not afraid of the darkness anymore. They're not afraid of being coughed. They're not afraid of rumors. They're not afraid if somebody is like angry at you. It is that stable, mature ground that we're kind of looking for. So when I saw that that is actually potential, it's possible, that's when I started walking this path of ease of life towards, and starting allowing that, by relaxing and by kind of taking time to do this and be kind of allowing yourself to be guided in this, that I'm kind of allowing this to grow naturally within, and that we can kind of start to like fill ourselves up in this stable ground, in this place of maturity. Where we suddenly, I realized that when everybody wants to like, are you not afraid? Are you not sad? People are using emotions to drag you down. It's a way of controlling you. People like when you're scared. Like sometimes you can feel like your parents are liking that you're afraid, because then I can come in and I can help you. I can fix stuff for you. You want to feel useful, so you like that people are not feeling so stable, because then I'm of use. Well, what if we don't have to feed off of each other's emotions and fear, but instead we can support each other into grow into wisdom and stability and maturity and ease? So that's what this is. As I saw that there is a simplicity to this teaching, as I have come to find this connection in myself, I'm bringing it out in a simple way, an easeful way, a gentle way, so that others can come in and partake and enjoy, and then we can come together and start spreading the good news. So that's kind of what we're doing here. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I'm seeing that having these Wisdom Wednesdays are good, because it's kind of, we are so used to getting kind of high or sad or worried or all these things, because these programs are kind of like connected internally, that we're kind of a little lost in them. We've kind of been programmed to be lost. So to program yourself to not getting lost, that is kind of a journey. And that's where purpose comes in. Did I mention we were talking about purpose? Yeah. And that's where this isn't so much about the words, because I bring words in differently every time, because the energy is new, and it's the connection every day is new. So nothing is ever the same. And hence, being in the space, tuning in, is always new. And in this newness, there is wisdom, there is energy that we can allow in. And this energy comes in kind of like a prayer, like just a surrender, like an offering, like saying, I want to partake, I want to honor the space. So that's what you're doing. You're coming in, you're honoring the space, you're saying yes to being here. Sometimes live, sometimes also like afterwards. You can also sometimes, some people are actually watching this later tonight or tomorrow, and then you still are able to feel that you're connected, and then you can still say like, comment, and subscribe, and share, and donate. So by saying that, we're like moving into the second part of this session, which is the physical side. We're digesting a meal, both mentally but also physically, because those two are two different sides of the energy. So by allowing it, by leaning back, by closing your eyes, by opening up and allowing, you might feel that there's a stiffness, there's a tension and heaviness coming into the space. And it is a guidance in relaxation, a guidance into kind of just honor it and allowing it. Because that's kind of what we have been a little bit been lost to us, that we've forgotten how easy we were in pregnancy, or like easy we were in mama's belly, that we could just allow it. And then we can start to like feel the space around us, the silence in the space. And first your thoughts might be like, well, I'm not feeling anything, or what is this? But it's not, you don't have to feel anything really. You just have to be here and just listen, or not listen. Just close your eyes and allow yourself to just partake. It is the practice of allowing yourself to be in the space and to receive. And then there's a weight on your shoulders, like you can shake your shoulders a little bit, and you can lay yourself back, lay yourself down, let the weight come into you as the energy comes into you. It's like a stiffness or heat, or like a kind of almost like a heat in your face. And then there's like a breath, it's like a motion as your shoulders are dropping more and your hips are kind of moving your hips a little bit around, letting it kind of twist and turn and twist, twist and turn. And letting kind of your hips drop down a little bit more, opening up your legs a little bit, letting kind of the groin open, the energy come down into your butt, into your thighs, into your knees, into your legs, into your head. Your hair can be like an itchy feeling, or like a tingling feeling, or heat. And like a heaviness in your buttocks, the seating of your butt where you sit down and open up as it drops down into the floor, into the earth, down into your feet, into your ankles. It's like a heat as it comes out into your fingers. It's kind of the energy is moving through the system. As under your feet, it's almost like a heaviness, a bloatedness in your feet as it goes down into the earth. And it's like a surrender when you kind of just disappear. It's like falling asleep. You just disappear. It's that gentle surrender. And then it comes up between your legs, up into your butt, up into your chest, filling you like a breeze, like ease, like the wind, like cold, cold energy, filling your mouth, your chest, your head, your hips. And it's like the cat kind of starting to stretch, and as it goes up to your head, and you can start coming back, opening your eyes or stretching or whatever you're doing. Good. It came through beautiful. And if you are new and you want to give a donation, you can find it on the website. Or if you want to reach out and say hi and you have questions, you can send me a DM or whatnot, or just show up again next Wednesday and join, test this out. You have to let yourself seep into the space, this space of simplicity. Good. Well, we are done for today, and thank you for showing up. It has been beautiful to see you guys. And yeah, if you are seeing this later, please text me or ask questions or like or whatnot, and yeah, partake. Sure. I will talk to you guys later. See ya.